Hey, why are you so expensive? To ship you overseas, I have to pay for your health certificate, your microchip, I'm talking to you, your rabies shot, your kennel, your plane ticket, and a pet shipper. This just in, the DoD approves policy to reimburse pet expenses due to a permanent change of station. Oh yes, this is very exciting, but there is a lot to uncover here. So sit tight, get out the popcorn, and stay till the end so you can learn all the details. First of all, who am I? Good question. I am Daniel. This is DTV. Welcome to the channel. I am a content creator for all U.S. military and civilian personnel living overseas, and the #1 online resource for PCS prep specifically into Germany. But the real heroes leave no pause behind USA. They're the ones that actually got this whole thing approved. They went to bat for us. They got their hands dirty. They went to Congress. I think it took 4 or 5 years, so we owe them everything. I am just taking all this information from them and providing it here for you on YouTube. Maybe we can get them on the channel soon to walk us through this entire journey. Okay, the pet transportation entitlements based on the National Defense Authorization Act. By the way, you cannot claim this pet reimbursement unless it's actually written in the JTR, the Joint Travel Regulation. And now it is. And we're gonna go through it line by line so you can understand all the juicy details. On January 1st, 2024, the following pet transportation allowances will apply. Eligibility. So, a service member on a PCS order may be authorized reimbursement for the costs related to the relocation of one household pet that arises from a permanent change of station. So let's read in between the lines here, right? So first of all, it says a service member. So we're talking about active duty service members. I know there's a lot of civilians, contractors, NAF employees, DODEA teachers, DECA, civil service, Red Cross, etc., that want this benefit as well. I just don't know if you're actually authorized to get it. This specifically says a service member, so that's active duty. And again, but this is very, very new. It hasn't even rolled out yet as of the date of this recording. So we'll see about that. What I would recommend to all my civilian employees that are watching this is to check with either your employer or check with CPAC, the Civilian Personnel Advisory Center of the gaining duty station that you're gonna be at, to see if this may be something that you can use as well. But based on what I see here, doesn't really seem like it right now. Okay, it also says one household pet that arises from a permanent change of station. It doesn't say TDY, it doesn't say a long TDY. It says one household pet from a PCS. So you specifically have to be doing a PCS, a permanent change of station. Now, a household pet, what is that? They define it. They say a household pet is a cat or dog, not a lizard, not a horse, not a rat, not anything else, but a cat or dog. And then the last 2 sentences say that you are responsible for importing and exporting your pet to and from the US in order to be eligible for reimbursement. So if you have a denial of entry, that could result in a denial of reimbursement. So for example, I live here in Germany, and there's specific pet breeds that are restricted over here in Germany. So for example, if you're going through the process of getting your pet that's restricted and you didn't know that over here to Germany, and you may have spent some money on pet expenses, travel expenses, or shots, rabies, whatever, and then you're denied entry of that pet into the country, then you're not going to get reimbursement. Okay, moving on to CONUS, the continental United States. It says a service member, active duty, may be authorized the reasonable and substantiated costs related to a bunch of pet expenses, which are defined as mandatory microchipping, boarding fees at the losing or gaining duty station, hotel service charges, so pet fees when staying at a hotel that allows the pets there, licensing fees. This one's kind of a gray area. I took this as any type of medical fees that you may have. So registering your pet with the local Rathaus. The Rathaus in Germany is the city hall, so you have to go to the city hall and register, and that may cost a little bit of money. So those fees, FAVN blood test, FAVN, is that how you say it? Rabies shot, vaccination, virus neutralization test, or any other immunization procedure. Shipping fees, this is a big one. If your dog or cat are flying rather than driving when you're going state to state with your PCS, then these fees are included in that reimbursement. So we're talking unaccompanied cargo or accompanied. Okay, for the continental United States, it says reimbursement for the actual cost of all expenses is limited to $550 per PCS move per service member. And for OCONUS outside the continental United States, it's pretty much got the same authorization, but it does mention testing titer levels for entry as well, which I had to look up, and that's just another blood level test, so medical procedures. Okay, OCONUS also states that the use of government or government procured transportation must be used if available, or reimbursement for transportation cost is not authorized. And reimbursement for the actual cost of all necessary expenses described above in connection with the movement of a pet is limited to $2,000 per PCS move per service member. So what does this all mean? Bottom line, this is incredible news. I gotta be honest with you, I have been creating content about PCS prep into Germany specifically since 2018, and I always tell everyone moving over here to Germany or overseas that the pet expenses are going to be the most expensive part of your move. And for a long time, it wasn't a reimbursed expense at all. So this was coming out of your pocket. And so there are so many issues with that, as we all know. So this is incredible news that you get $550 for CONUS and up to $2,000 for an OCONUS move. So we'll take it. Leave no pets behind, USA. Thank you so much. So what should you be doing with all this information? First of all, make sure that you're eligible first. Start saving your receipts and plan accordingly on what you must spend money on to get your pets to your next duty location. So that's the cost of the crate, that's the cost of the medical document preparation. Remember, going to an on-base veterinarian, if you can, is way cheaper than going to a veterinarian off-base. For example, when you need to get your health certificate, or you need vaccinations, or you need any other medical documentation. When you can't use the Patriot Express, the cost of using a pet shipper. This is huge because not only can you get a free quote from these pet shippers, but now you can pay for most of all of the expenses that you incur when you ship your pet CONUS to CONUS or overseas. Which reminds me, if you are going to use a pet shipper, I highly recommend Feathers and Fur Express. I have been promoting this company for years. I've got full tutorial videos, blog posts, and reviews from military families that have used them to show you all their services. To include how to measure your pet, how to get the right crate, how to get all the necessary documents, which order you should get those documents in, and where to put those necessary documents. How and when to feed your pet, how to best prepare for shipping your pet overseas, pet embargoes, frequently asked questions, and so on. So you definitely want to check them out. Link in description. Speaking of frequently asked questions, let's go over some. I found a bunch of these online, but if you have some questions for your specific PCS, leave them in the comments below and let's start a dialogue. Okay, if a member starts their PCS in CY23 and checks into their new permanent duty station after 1 January 2024, can they be reimbursed for pet expenses? No. Payment of the pet relocation allowance is based on the detachment date from their current PDS location. So basically, your orders need to say 1 January 2024 or after. Does the detachment date from the previous command need to have occurred on or after 1 January 2024? Yes. The detachment date must have occurred on or after 1 January 2024. Do the expenses themselves need to be incurred after 1 January 2024, regardless of when the PCS started? Answer: if the service member departs the PDS on a PCS order on or after 1 January 2024, so basically if the service member is leaving the losing duty station on or after 1 January 2024, then any expenses incurred prior to detachment are reimbursable. For example, if traveling to Japan, there are many requirements that the service member must accomplish to prepare for the transportation to the overseas location. The only determining factor for eligibility for the pet relocation allowance is that the service member detaches from the current PDS losing gaining station on or after 1 January 2024, and the expense is related to that PCS move. Did you get all that? So basically what I think it's saying is if your orders say 1 January 2024 or after, but you've been incurring some pet expenses before that, in preparation for this PCS move after or on 1 January 2024, then those expenses are included in the reimbursement. Will dual military spouse families be allowed to ship one pet per PCS order? Great question. Yes. Each member of a dual military couple who has issued PCS orders that authorize the relocation of their household at government expense may be authorized reimbursement of pet expenses for one pet per each member who has issued such orders. Authorization may depend on specific circumstances, therefore Marines with questions, or any other branch of service, are encouraged to address their questions to their supporting finance, administrative, or distribution management offices, passenger travel office, your CPAC, your employer, etc., etc. What is the maximum reimbursable amount for pet transportation during a PCS move when the service member detaches from the current command on or after 1 January 2024? The answer for a CONUS, Continental United States PCS moves with detachment date of 1 January 2024 or later, the maximum reimbursable amount is $550. For OCONUS outside the Continental United States, PCS moves with a detachment date of 1 January 2024 or later, the maximum reimbursable amount is $2,000. What if you have more than one pet? Doesn't matter, they only reimburse for one pet per service member. Only $550? Only $2,000? That's not enough. Well, take it or leave it. Prior to 1 January 2024, you were coming out of pocket for all of your pet expenses. So this is beautiful news to the ears. How do you claim it? Great question. I don't really know the answer to that question right now, but I would assume that it's the same way that you would claim any other travel expenses that you are saving your receipts for. So I would check with your finance office, CPAC office, or anybody else that deals with the reimbursement process of your PCS move. What if you've already PCS but left your pet behind and want to ship them in 2024? It actually won't apply to you because your orders, again, need to say 1 January 2024 or later. Okay, that is about it. I hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you some value. My goal was just to give you a high-level understanding of what this new pet reimbursement authorization is all about in the JTR. I would assume that there's gonna be a lot more questions. There's gonna be some changes going on to all of this, but this is a great start for the new year, I gotta tell you. So again, I wanna give all the credit to the real heroes, Leave No Pet Behind USA. Before you go, if you are PCSing with or without your pet to specifically Germany, I've got some super valuable stuff that I will leave in the description. I've got a free PCS checklist that has been downloaded by thousands at this point in time. So if you're lost, you're stressed out, or this is your first PCS overseas, I have a checklist that will go through literally everything, starting with the most important and most expensive stuff first, and then goes on and on and on. So check that out. I've also got a free guide that you can download to the 30 things that you must know before PCS into Germany with the US military. So again, thousands of military families have downloaded these things and it has been proven to help them out and to relieve stress for you when you're PCSing overseas. That is all for today. If you're looking for more information on PCS prep, travel, or local life as an American living here in Germany, subscribe to the channel and I will catch you in the next one. Peace. I love you too. I love you too.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.